It's time to place your bets. Welcome in, everybody, to Monday Night Football here on Betting Pros. It is me, Joey P. Joe Pizzapuia. With me is my boy Scott Bogman, and it's you. And we're talking all things MNF tonight. It's a game between Bogman's Pittsburgh Steelers, who are going to Indianapolis to take on the 4-6-1 Colts, 3-7 Steelers. We're looking at the lines. We're looking at the props. We're looking at all of you to have a good time. And Bogman, I've got a 3-1 bet that I bet that you cannot stay away from. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
I think we'll see if it's in your best bets of the day too. I don't know, but I got one for you. I already put money down while we were just kind of looking at stuff here before the show. But Boggs, it's great to see you here here on the program today after a nice holiday. It's good to hang out with you again, talk a little football. There's nobody better to break down the Steelers than you, because you are an authentic Steelers fan who also does not see the world through the Steeler color glasses. So let's take a look here. You succeed.
Try to be objective. I'm probably a little more harsh on the Steelers than I should.
If anything, yes.
In general, but I also like when people will give them no credit at all, the Welsh. I will, I'll back them up a little bit too when they need it. Don't need a lot of backing up in a 3-7 season though. So
not a lot there. You could definitely throw a lot of shade there. But I got to tell you, this one is a really tough game tonight. The Colts are 2.5-point favorites in this one. The Steelers are 2.5-point underdogs. You have 39.5 as the number, which seems a little low, but I understand where it's at here. If you like Pittsburgh Steelers to win outright, which is not impossibility, it's plus 122 on the money line. That's a consensus number at Betting Pros. To me, that's the most appealing wager, is just say, hey, why can't the Steelers go in there, play good football, and come out with a W and have a couple of bounces of the ball go their way? Other than that, I have a hard time finding anything that I really love in this game at this level. The prop market's very good. That's a whole different animal. But the game itself today, I have a hard time really finding anything to get super excited about. And the plus 122 is not so much that I'm super excited. It's not like a couple of weeks ago where we had like the 2-1s or the 4-1s with the Commanders, and we're like, yep, let's go. Yeah. Small unit on that will make a big return, and every single time we did. So what do you think about these lines tonight and the over-under?
First of all, how quick would the NFL flex this game if they were able to flex Monday Night Football games? This would have been right out of there. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Pittsburgh can absolutely win this game. It all, to me, really depends on if Pittsburgh can really get some turnovers from Matt Ryan. They're not going to stop him passing. He's going to be passing, and he's going to pass for a decent amount of yards. One of my props. We'll get to that in a minute. But it's really, can they get the ball from him? Because before he was benched, he was turning over the ball a lot. And Jeff Saturday's kind of corrected that, not by any stroke of genius or anything, but by running the football a bunch, running the football more. So it depends on how well does Jonathan Taylor work against his Pittsburgh front. And then if he is working, can they pass off of that and not turn the ball over? So, but the Steelers are absolutely in this game, especially with the way the offense played last week. It came alive. They put up 30 points. It didn't look terrible. This could be a higher scoring game than people anticipate.
Yeah, again, I would lean towards the over. If you're looking there, you're trying to figure that out. The over, to me, seems like the lead. It's not something I'm betting on, but I know a lot of people like to have some action on the game itself, not necessarily just the prop market. For me, I'm staying in the prop market today. We've got Andrew Erickson, Truther, in the chat. We got JP in the chat. I see Prodigy's there too. Prodigy, yes, acknowledging the tribal chief as always. That is me. That's right. Feeling a little oozy today, Prodigy. Feeling a little oozy, especially after War Games on Saturday, which was tremendous, Boggs. I know you don't watch wrestling, but War Games was fun. At least the last match was. So let's get to some of the props though. And then let's start with some of your favorites here, and then I'm gonna tease my favorite one. Again, it's a 3-1 number. I think it's easy money tonight. We'll get to it in a second.
I'm excited to hear it.
I know. Matt Ryan over 231.5 passing yards. 23
way over 23.
Smash number. Yeah, way over 23. 231.5 passing yards. Minus 115 is the number. It's not terrible juice there. It's not the worst situation. And you could throw in the Steelers, as you were alluding to earlier. I like the over on this as well.
31st against the pass. They're giving up over 270 yards per game. They were awful last week. I know it's Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is a different animal than a lot of quarterbacks, but they just couldn't stop anything last week. Couldn't stop Samaje Perine. Couldn't stop T. Higgins. Couldn't stop Hayden Hurst.
No.
Yeah, I think that
And
I think Matt Ryan's going to be slinging it tonight.
they had that game. It was in their clutches, and they really
Yeah,
get away. Big play after big play in the air, and that's the one thing. Like, I mean, that's going to be something they need to address in the draft big time. Is get some
yeah.
help, some safety help, maybe
I
too.
mean, the more I watch the team, there's so many
Mhm.
needs, right? But
Yeah,
it's just for me, it's offensive line and cornerbacks are one,
yeah.
two, probably a Cam Hayward replacement, and then it's everything else. It's a Claypool replacement, linebacker that's not Devin Bush, a safety to replace Terrell Edmonds. Yeah, God,
Yeah, see,
I'm
to
already
me, like,
thinking
offensive
about
line,
the
yes,
draft.
and then the defensive side of the football. You have weapons there. You have enough for Pickett to be successful. Like, I don't think you're looking for toys. You're looking to build the defense back up a little bit. You're looking to build the line. Like, that's where you're looking if
Yeah,
you're the Steelers. So I'm with you 100%. I love this one here, Matt Ryan. If that's the case, let's talk about the other guys on the Colts here. 46.5 receiving yards for Paris Campbell. This is a very gettable number here for Paris Campbell. I like this one a lot. You like it as well. Let's go the over here. 46.5 again, minus 115 is the juice. Let's talk about Paris Campbell and what he's been doing lately, because this is another guy too who's been very steady Eddie for this team ever since Matt Ryan took back over the QB spot.
this is a lot about not just the passing yards, but also the fact that Arthur Millette is rough in that nickel corner, that slot corner role. I believe he ranks 105 out of 119 graded corners in coverage, so not very good in coverage. And Matt Ryan looks Paris Campbell's way. He has been the last couple of weeks. So I just think this number, I think he's going to smoke this number because he's going to get like 10 targets. Which is what he does against bad corners. He can take advantage. Finally, they are taking advantage of Paris Campbell. It feels like ever since his rookie year, he's been awful or hurt. And finally, he looks good. And he will probably torch Arthur Millette tonight. So,
yeah, and just looking at
46 and a
this
half
run
is
too,
easy
I
for
know he
him.
had a bad game against New England, but the New England secondary plays very well.
It's also
So not
Sam
really
Ehlinger throwing the ball in that
right,
game.
and Sam
So,
Ehlinger was there for that one.
know,
But when you get Paris Campbell back, 76 yards, 67 yards last 2 weeks. I mean, this feels like a smash here. 46.5 is a gimme. Michael Pittman, 5.5 receptions. So you're going with the receptions number, you're getting minus 105 in the over on that one. Just to get an indication too of what Michael Pittman has done in the last 2
six
weeks as well.
at least 6 catches in 5
Yeah.
of the last 6 games, and the one he didn't was once again that Sam Ehlinger
Sam
start
Ehlinger,
against
yeah.
the Patriots. So
Mhm.
5.5, and the juice isn't bad on that one either. I
No,
believe it's minus 105, minus 105, which
I
is
like your
actually better
targeting
than
too.
the other
I like
ones.
that you went for
Yeah.
the receptions instead of the yards when it came to Pittman also. I think that was a very
Well, Pittman is
wise
just
move
it's
there.
just different. You know what I
Right.
mean? His yards are going to be up and down, but he's definitely catching the ball. So
All right, let's go to the Steelers. You actually found one that you like. It is Najee Harris, 63.5 rushing yards. Now, Najee coming off 2 straight games here with 20 carries. So he's touched the football a whole lot more. That's definitely been a good thing here for his value. With Jalen Warren's been dealing with his issue, with his injury as well. But look, 2 back-to-back games with 20 carries, 90 yards rushing here. And you got him at the 63.5, which once again, I mean, that seems like an absolute smash to me. I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to go in on this one today. It's almost like they're tempting you because they know it's not a super exciting game, where they're
yeah,
making the props a little bit easier for you to figure out and to actually get involved in.
I think the number is pretty solid, because you could see a scenario where the Steelers get down and they're not running the ball and it's put in Kenny Pickett's hand. But I just, for most cases, I think with a young QB, especially a young QB who's struggling to get completions and wins, really more than anything, you're going to go to the running game, and it's really about what I saw recently. And in the last couple games, Najee has looked like last year's Najee and not the beginning of this year with the Liz Frank injury. And when you look at this starting defensive line, even rotationally, the Colts do not grade out very well against the run. And the guys that are good, Buckner is questionable. He should go. He practiced fully on Saturday. Kwity Paye is going to be out. He hasn't practiced all week. He missed last week as well. He's not playing. Those are the 2 best run defenders. Grover Stort's pretty good too, but he's coming in with an illness. And we saw how an illness affected Alvin Kamara yesterday. It was terrible. So, there's just not a lot stopping the run. The offensive line for the Steelers isn't good, but they'll get a push every once in a while. And they did last week, and I think they can do it again this week. So I think this is a very hittable number.
Yeah, and with Warren out too, I mean, the lion's share is just going to go to Najee. So I think it's a very good one. I like this one too. Let's see what you think about this line here from Andrew Erickson, Truth or Joe Pisapia. Let's see, 25 and a half legendary moments per day over. There you go. I like the over on that one too. And Prodigy
like
agrees.
one.
Smash the over. Love hanging out with you guys talking football. We're happy you're here with us. Talk a little Monday Night Football here on Betting Pros. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Betting Pros because we got content. And Bogman, by the way, after next week is going to be doing Thursday night with me as well. Right. So D-Bro made other plans. Now D-Bro's got another podcast now to be doing at that time. So we're going to have Bogman and myself on Monday and Thursday. How lucky are all of you? Let's get to another prop here. And of course, we're the defensive boys here. So we got the Alex Highsmith over on the 0.75 sack plus 140 you're getting here. So what made you go with Highsmith?
Bernard Ryman had left tackle is rough, and TJ Watt should be on the other side dealing with Braden Smith, who's actually a pretty good tackle. But they're going to move both those guys around too, so they'll both play against both of these guys. But the line is bad. Matt Ryan gets hit, and he's been taking more sacks recently instead of turning the ball over, which is smart. I'd rather play field position than turn the whole field over to the other team. So I just think with TJ Watt back, this pass rush is so much better. And Alex Highsmith back to getting, hitting quarterbacks and getting sacks with TJ Watt back. And, Watt's going to get double teamed. He'll have single on a rookie left tackle. He'll get to Matt Ryan at least once.
Yeah. All right. Let's continue on here. And I teased it before, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, I want to
right now over on FanDuel, anytime touchdown scorer, George Pickens plus 300. You're getting 3-1 on Pickens. Got a touchdown. And let me see here. Let's take a look. Week 10. Yes. And week 11 as well. So since they come out of the bye, he's had a touchdown in every game. I'm not a big fan of the Colts secondary. Bogman knows that. So for me,
well, DJ will get Gilmore. So,
and right, exactly. And even if Gilmore, somehow ends up with Pickens at some point in time, Gilmore's not quite Gilmore of old. He still has his moments, but watching this year, he's one of those guys that's lost a little bit. I want to say a full step, maybe half a step at times when you watch Gilmore this year. So he's had a couple, good moments and good plays and big spots, but still he's somebody you can still attack.
Still grades pretty high.
He grades pretty high. He's grades pretty high.
Kenny Moore has been bad.
Kenny Moore's been terrible.
And in 2 wide receiver sets, Pickens will probably get Kenny Moore. So
and look, Pickett favors Pickens. I think we all know this. There should have been another touchdown that
talking a bunch of smack
where Pickett just completely overthrew Pickens, and the whole thing, he was wide open and it was just a complete miss there and a complete whiff. Now you can't do that stuff consistently at the NFL ever and keep your job. But I will say this. I think Kenny Pickett clearly has his favorite. I think Pickens is that guy. So I like this 3-1. I mean, again, small, you can throw $10 on this bad boy. That's fun.
What is
so crazy here?
What's Pat? What's Pat Freiermuth?
Pat is plus 250.
Plus 250.
Also a good one. But Pickens is 3-1, and I love Pickens here in this spot here. I'm just telling you, Pickens seems to be that guy. Just to go through the rest of the material on the FanDuel side, you get Najee at plus money too at plus 120. You got, I wouldn't touch Deontay Johnson. Honestly, I wouldn't touch Pittman. You're getting negative money on Jonathan Taylor, which is not a surprise at all. So at this point, that's not something that you're super excited about.
What's
going for? Pickett, it's funny you mentioned that because that's another one too that I had my eye on at plus 550. That's another one too.
I think that's my favorite one because
you ain't wrong.
They do a lot of QB sneaks with him, and he loves doing them. He loves pushing the piles. So he's definitely, for a quarterback, he's definitely gritty, which is another reason Pittsburgh took him. So I could see him sneaking.
That was the second one I liked the most. I liked it more than Freiermuth too because he does like to run the football a little bit. So plus 550. Hey, look, man, throw a 5 spot on Pickett, throw a 5 spot on Pickens, and there you go. Have some fun tonight. Just keep it simple.
Now I'm excited for this game. Let's go. God, I still got a little bit of time before kickoff. Let's go.
The prop market, very good. All right, so let's get to some of these other guys too out there. Let's talk about Jonathan Taylor. You have 89.5 rushing yards for him. You have the projection going slightly under that. If you want to take that at BetMGM, you get it at 89.5. But look, it's minus 115 there. For receiving yards, you've got him at 13.5 right now. That's the number in the consensus. Jonathan Taylor, 2.5 receptions number. Any of these Jonathan Taylor numbers, 19.5 rush attempts, pop out to you at all?
No, and here's the reason. That has nothing to do with opponent or Jonathan Taylor or matchup. It's the injury stuff that Taylor has had. And, ankles can flare up again. He steps on someone's foot wrong. I don't know. It's just like he's had an unlucky season.
Sure.
So I don't want to be the guy betting on him and then he rolls his ankle in the first quarter. So just because he's been nicked up a little bit, my same logic goes for Christian McCaffrey too. Just guys that have been hurt, I don't really want to bet on that much because of, JT already re-aggravated his stuff one time. So I'll pass on JT bets for tonight.
Yeah, what I like about this game tonight, again, it's not the numbers on the game itself. The Matt Ryan number is really good, 231.5. The Najee number, 63.5, is a crush. Campbell, 46.5 receiving yards. The 5.5, the over on Pittman's receptions. I know you like the Highsmith number. I'm a little, it's plus 140, so it's good enough to take a gander on. But the other two is the anytime touchdown scorers, because there's a couple good numbers there where you could really get involved, have some fun there. And again, small coin, but nice returns there. When you're getting 3-1, you're getting plus 550. You're getting some really good numbers on those two guys specifically. So why not give it a shot there? On the other side, to be honest with you, like, it's hard to say Paris Campbell. It's hard to really go Alec Pierce or to even go so far as like a Mo Alley Cox or somebody like that at plus 600. Like, the Colts offense is just all over the map, and it's just too difficult to gauge. What about the under on any Deontay Johnson numbers tonight? Is that another thing that possibly I can tempt you on? 46.5 receiving yards for him. Just to look at the game log too, 42, 35, 63, 21 in the last 4 contests for him.
So here's my just general outlook on guys like Deontay. And it's guys that we've seen in the past that have been playing well, right? Have played well in their career, but are playing bad this season. I don't want to bet any unders on those guys because the ability is there. It's just it hasn't been.
But when you add in Gilmore, doesn't that make it even potentially more appealing tonight than on other nights?
It does, but also I feel like Kenny's going to force feed Deontay the ball a little bit, and it's kind of almost a prove. It's to shut up Deontay and to shut up everybody else. Like, Deontay.
Well, I hope he doesn't do it at the expense of moving the football or turning over the football.
Yeah,
if you try to do that, that's going to get you a bad spot. And Gilmore is going to make you. If Gilmore makes you make a mistake, that's bad news for Kenny Pickett. So, and bad news for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game.
Exactly, so, but he said they got, and also he wanted them to work on him moving around and getting him off of some double teams that he's been dealing with. So if that's the case, I could see them designing some plays towards Deontay as well and running, you run 3 or 4 of those. If you're successful on a couple of them, they could be big yardage, like Christian Watson. Christian Watson has been having plays designed for him. He's not getting peppered with targets, but if you have a couple plays designed for you to get open in space, you can get most of that yardage in one play. So I think just because of his lack of numbers recently, I think they might draw something specific up for him, which makes me not want to go over or under because he's been bad. I don't want to bet the over, but because he's been bad and they're talking about it so much, it might be a point of, just something that they've worked on all week. So I just don't want to bet unders I don't want to bet unders in general, Joe. Life's too short to bet unders. It's way more fun to bet over.
I don't know. Sometimes they're begging for it. I think Deontay tonight might be begging for it.
But it's personally. Like, I use all this correct logic and I bet under Kyle Pitts receiving yards finally. And he goes over. It's just, it's also a bit of our good friend Murphy and his law, and whatever you choose is going to be wrong, and all of that stuff too. So there is a little bit of frustration in there built in for me, but I'm not.
I'll leave you on this note. I don't want you to be frustrated. So you know how Brian Robinson had has the big hat.
Big hat.
Yeah. Well, I thought that the perfect gift does not exist. But it turns out it does. So I thought, who do I know that always wears a backwards hat every day when I do a podcast with him? And it's Derek Brown. So I have purchased the big hat. It is on its way to Texas, ladies and gentlemen.
That is
coming
excellent.
there. and we're gonna make him wear it on the show. So stay tuned for whenever that gets there. So I am with bated breath watching the tracking number on that one. So that'll leave everybody
to
happy.
Ask you how much that was off air. So
it was not well. Here's the problem: we recorded the waiver wire pod today, and as I'm looking at it on the pod, talking to him about it, I was like, "You're in trouble, D. It's not nearly as expensive as I thought it was going to be."
Oh, that's good stuff. I love it.
So there you go. So those are the things to bet on today. Again, look at those anytime touchdown numbers for Pickens too. Those are some really good numbers out there. Freiermuth's not a bad one too. Colts, you can keep all the Colts. We'll take the yardage numbers. We'll take the Matt Ryan stuff, the Paris Campbell stuff, and the Pittman stuff, and we'll let the rest fall where it may. So enjoy the football tonight, everybody. Steelers versus Colts. I know where Bogman's going to be, right in front of the TV, this close. It's going to be right there watching every single second.
Throw it, Kenny. Throw the ball.
Yeah. I'm still happy that Kenny Pickett's there. I think he's going to be okay. I do. I know you're still not sold. I think he's going to be all right.
He's fine, but right. He's we need a little more. So look, the jury's still out. Jury's still out.
Kenny Pickett in a couple years. All right, here we go. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Scott Bogman, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy Monday Night Football.